These are things I hate about Marvel fans as a Marvel fan. Number 1, when people say there hasn't been anything good since Endgame. These are just a few movies that have been released since Avengers Endgame. Spider-Man Far From Home, WandaVision, Loki, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, What If, Hawkeye, Wakanda Forever, Guardians of the Galaxy Volleyball 3. The second thing that annoys me is when people complain that things are different from the comics to the movies and shows. I guarantee 99% of people who complain about changes from comic to screen have never read a comic in their life. Remember when Captain America Civil War was being made and people were like, you physically cannot make this movie without Spider-Man. Why? Because you saw the screenshot of that notable moment? You know what no one was saying? You physically can't make this movie without Goliath or the Fantastic Four, who also have extremely notable moments in that story arc. Every single movie and show is different from the comics. They're inspired by them. I see the Marvel Cinematic Universe as separate from the comics universe, which is separate from the different cartoon universes and the Sony universes, etc. There's even different universes within the comics where you have every variation of every character. The characters in the comics also change over the eras. A lot of people probably think of Peter Parker as a teenager, but he's like 40 in the comics now. If you complain about the Marvel movies not sticking to the comics, then you're never allowed to complain about them being progressive ever again, because the comics are more progressive than the movies and shows and always have been. People were like, it's political correctness gone mad when we got a Black Panther and a Captain Marvel movie, despite the previous 17 MCU movies being led by straight white men, and all of a sudden it's woke. Then both these movies went on to make $1 billion. Movies don't bomb because they're woke. Barbie was the highest grossing movie of 2023. The next thing that annoys me about Marvel fans is when people speculate too much. The more you speculate, the higher your expectation will be, and the more likely it is you'll be disappointed when those expectations aren't met. I don't watch trailers and I try to avoid knowing anything because I want to experience it for the first time in the context of the content. Next, complaining about castings really annoys me because they almost always turn out great. People complained about Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Heath Ledger being cast as the Joker, and it's James Bond, not James Blonde. Next up is when people think that every single piece of content should be targeted to them. Not everything is for you. Yeah, some of these movies and shows you have to watch to understand others, but in most cases you'll get by if you just skip the ones that aren't targeted to you. What else annoys me is when people say that Marvel is better than DC or vice versa. Legally, you're currently allowed to like both, neither, or just one of them. Saying that Marvel is better than DC is like saying that Marvel is better than cornflakes. Why do you have to bring one down to lift the one you like up? The toxic pocket of fandoms ruin movies and shows for me. Not the quality of the movie or Disney, it's the toxic fans. Star Wars is pretty much ruined for me because of the loud minority. So if the toxic Marvel fans ruin Marvel for me, I will Hulk out like the Hulk in Hulk. Also, I just want to add, because I've seen a lot of people say this, but in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, when Reed tells Wanda about Black Bolt's power, it was just him saying, stand down, we outpower you. How was he supposed to know that Wanda had the power to remove Black Bolt's mouth? I don't think that moment is as dumb as people make it out to be. Anyway, I don't like making negative content, so leave a comment about something you love about the MCU.